East Lakes, man. This is MTGV, and you with Miss V. She keep her ear to the street, like a drum to a beat. This is the place that you wanna be, but all trolls we delete, you better believe. Just so you know we don't go for those that's taking these souls. We know, but it's getting so out of control. Just so you
Shout out to everybody in the building and everybody on the replay. Welcome in, y'all. You smack that thumbs up.
But it's getting so out of control. Thank you for tuning in to MTGV, True Crime TV. Y'all know what it is, man. Team Vibe, Miss V. And make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe.
Please smack that like button, y'all. So it's been a while since we've been live over here, but we are here. And one of the things I want to talk about today, the people. I've been looking at this case concerning Romeca Blackmon from Chicago. She was unalived on September 8th. Really, like down the street from her son's school by her son's father's other baby mama. I mean, it's real messy. Like, he's messy in my opinion. So we're gonna be talking about this, y'all. Let me see who's in the chat. Shout out to my BFF in the building. Yes, we are late. We were supposed to go live yesterday on Romeca, but I had to reschedule. It's a lot going on in my life, y'all. But we are here. This case, it actually captured my attention like in the middle of me covering the Kata Scott case. And I was so into that I didn't even talk about this right away, because it was a lot of messiness in the beginning. Because the lady, the girl who unalived Romeca, she didn't get arrested till about 9 days ago, and this happened September 8th. So that was about 13 weeks and 5 days ago. And they just arrested her 9 weeks ago, and that's just because she claimed self-defense. So what happened, Romeca dropped her son off to school, and for whatever reason, Carlos and the girl that he was seeing, she was parked on the same street as the school that Romeca's son went to. And I'm trying to figure out why. Where did he live exactly? And why was he on the street? Let me pull something up, because I was just looking at maps and it don't make any sense to me. Hold on, let me uncover this. Romeca was a beautiful lady. She was 31, I believe. This is the girl that did it. Her name is Holly, or Quadajah Holly Johnson. Holly, I guess, is her stage name. I don't know where the name Holly comes from. But I just see a lot of weird things going on concerning the father. To me, he's not acting right. Like, I mean, I seen his reaction right after it happened, and his reaction was not, he didn't seem remorseful for Romeca and what she was going through at that moment. He was very defensive. He was like cussing and checking people out, checking people on the scene. To me, that was very odd. I didn't see any tears. I mean, you know how when things are done out of anger, right after you do it, you might feel mad, remorse, and be in tears and feeling bad about it. But I didn't see that nowhere on the scene, and that was very strange to me. I mean, because I looked on Romeca's page, a couple of her pages, and she seemed to be full of life, a lot of fun, loving. Like this her coming through rubbing her braids or whatever, and she was playing a song. Basically just the caption was like, "Oh, I get on his nerves." So she was just picking with him. But what I'm looking at is, to me, he's a very vain guy and he need to be in the camera. You know, you could see he kind of moved over like he's still trying to be in the camera. But it was weird. I don't know if they was doing a little game or what, or why was he just standing in front of the camera? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let me put this down. You know, and for me, it's something about guys that, you know, wear purses and really into fashion and gotta be on the camera and always in the mirror. You know, you could wear purses together and all that. It's hard enough trying to figure out who's who. And when you got obvious signs of something, then you know, because people are saying certain things about him. I don't know if it's true or not, but what I find strange is the behavior. Now, I got a video. I hope I got it in here. Some of the scene. Yeah, this is the scene of the crime. You can see the girl standing there with the phone. She was the one that actually had did this. He's standing there pushing people back with blood all on his hands. He was telling them to shut up, even call somebody out of their name, and he was defending Quadajah out the gate, even with her laying there. And see how aggressive he is? I mean, you can't hear what he's saying, but he pushed her. For what? They wasn't even the ones going at him. It was another lady and her boyfriend or husband that was going in on him that had got off the bus. But I see no tears, no remorse. They say he was just standing there and not even trying to help her, stop the bleeding or anything. And he had told Quadajah, "Come on," or something. Pushed her back, told the lady to shut up, even called her out her name at some point. But no tears. So I just found that strange, especially looking through Romeca's page and how much she loved this man. You could tell it was a lot of love there. She definitely loved her son. And it was just sad to look through her Instagram, seeing the note and all of that stuff that she had wrote the day that she dropped her son off. So let me pull up the maps that I was looking at. Let me move this. I was also trying to figure out if she had blood on her hands. Let me move this video. How close was she to Romeca? Her hands look really red to me. I don't know. Maybe it could just be lighting, but I wondered if she had blood on her hands too. I mean, she definitely got blood on her hands for what she did, because it was uncalled for. It was premeditated from what I'm looking at. Why would they be right there at the school? Now, I heard something about he lives in the area, but when you look at where did he live exactly? This is where they were parked at, because they said it happened right at Cermak and State Street. So this street is State. This cross street. Let me see if we can see the sign. Yeah, so that's State Street. It was at near the intersection of Cermak and Street and State. So let me see. So they would have had to been parked down here. I remember Ben said 2200 block or something like that. So when you go down, you can literally see the school right there. So just a few steps. Here's the school. I'm assuming that her son went to. This goes to pre-K to 8th grade or something like that, right? For what reason would he have Holly, Quadajah, or whatever her name is, park her car on the street for? For what? It's like they was trying to run into her, right? Where did he live? And why would he want to be on the same street at the same time? It's like, yeah, they was trying to run into her. All right. That just didn't make sense to me. He wasn't at a house over here. Not on that street. If he didn't live on the street, why was he on the street? It don't make sense to me. Unless he was trying to run into her. And like I said, the only reason why that girl didn't get arrested right away is because she claimed she feared for her life, self-defense, and she had a gun license. So they I've seen this happen before. It was a white woman though. It was Adjika Owens was unalived by Susan Lorenz. It was she stayed in the hood, but she didn't like kids. Anyway, she unalived her, claimed self-defense, and she was out for months while they investigated. And I heard them say then, if they say that, stand your ground or whatever, it has to be investigated before they can arrest. So I guess that's what they was doing in this case. So let me pull up, because Tia Ewing, she was covering this case. She's a news reporter from Chicago. I've been following her for a while. And let me pull that up.
Hey, good morning. Well, Quadajah Johnson is accused of shooting and killing 31-year-old Romeca meeks-blackmon on September 8th in the South Loop. Johnson was arrested shortly after the shooting, but released without charges. Back in September, WGN talked to Blackmon's mother, who cried out in pain.
I want justice. She didn't deserve it under no circumstances.
And Johnson was arrested again Tuesday afternoon in Des Plaines. The shooting happened near the intersection of State Street and Cermak Road. Blackmon had just dropped off her 6-year-old son at school. Police say there was a fight between Johnson and Blackmon. Suddenly, Johnson pulled out a gun and shot Blackmon in the face. Blackmon's family describes her as sweet, loving.
What the heck is going on here?
Supportive, and a great mother. She was working and studying to become a nurse before her death. Sources say Blackmon knew her accused killer. It's still unclear what led to the fight. A detention hearing is scheduled for later this morning. In the newsroom, Winnie Dorch, WGN News.
Yeah, so it kind of threw me off because I had heard some people saying that Romeca went back. She went back the way that where they were at, but they was on the same street. Shout out to Blue Lotus. Welcome, man. Yes, rest in heaven to her. It did not have to happen. He's a bird. You can tell. Oh, bird. So I'm thinking you talking about the whole purse incident, purse thing, because that I was talking about, or you meaning like he's a part of the LGBTQ maybe? Because I never heard it called a bird, but I can tell you what. any man that carry a purse, I'm looking at you sideways. If we can wear matching purses, or if you carrying something that I can wear, like, I'm not gonna ask to wear your wallet. You know what I'm saying? But I just can't get with it. I'm sorry, because when it all comes out, people will be like, didn't you see the signs? I mean, look, he was cuter than he wanted to be, dressed nicer than you and prettier than you, and in the mirror longer than you. Like, no, thank you. And to me, the ones that be doing too much over sexual and all of that, I'm looking at you sideways. You know, he's doing too much. Why couldn't he just be happy with the ones he had? Like, he couldn't be pleased. You know what I'm saying? Yes, low key. That's a good description, because I mean, be who you are, right? 'Cause I ain't trying to crap on the LGBTQ community or anything like that. But when you out here acting like you one thing and you're something else, I got a problem with that. I don't know what the guy is or whatever. I guess he is heterosexual. That's what he's saying. But you know, I just don't get it. Let's go. Let's listen at some details.
All right, everybody, it's 2:16 right now. Thank you for staying with us. We have Tia Ewing, who is here now. You've been on one of the most watched stories of the week here, the case of Romeca Blackmon. And this goes back several months. And you have followed it the entire way. So walk us through how we got to today.
So how we got to today is yesterday at 3:25 in the afternoon. I was working on something completely different, got a phone call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office letting me know these charges were indeed filed, and that Quadajah Johnson, who was the person accused in all of this of shooting Romeca Blackmon, was going to be charged at that moment with first-degree murder, and that she would appear in court today. So fast forward to today is when the actual hearing happened. And we found out a lot of, decent information inside that courtroom. One being that Quadajah Johnson and Romeca Blackmon, we already knew that they shared the same father of their children.
Correct.
So, Quadajah has a child, a very young child, and Romeca Blackmon at the time of her death had a 6-year-old who has now turned 7. He literally turned 7 shortly after his mother was killed. With that being,
I think his birthday, if according to her post, I think is like September 28th. I think is what I seen, and that's just so heartbreaking, man. And the note that she left for him, and all of the love that you could see for her son on her page. That's one thing that she definitely made sure that everybody knew, how much she loved her son.
Said we also found out that Quadajah Johnson is indeed pregnant at this moment, 7 weeks pregnant, and her attorneys really tried to drive home that point with the judge in court.
Okay, so don't nobody care, but I mean, there's many babies made in prison, and I'm sure many have been birthed in there as well. Don't nobody care about that, right? But that's another thing. Like, this guy has got to know that he ruined his son's life, is ruined to him right now. We know that he could recover, right? But he's a baby. He 8 years old, 7. And his mother, he'll never see his mother again. And this guy she's 7 weeks pregnant. If we are to assume this baby is his, they just went on like relationship as usual, life as usual, and possibly even like, well, let's get pregnant just in case they try to arrest me. I can stay out, because her baby that she got is only months old, right? Like 6 months maybe, and you already pregnant, and he could actually get hard to get her pregnant after you watched her kill your son's mother. I just can't. That part, it just don't make sense to me. I'm looking at her TikTok, and he was with her family last Christmas, and I mean, you could see her and the girl kind of going back and forth. She letting her know, hey, just because he might say something, like, it sounds like he was playing both sides because of what Romeca posted. Like, he might post, let me see, something like this. Oh no, that's Quadajah trying to make Romeca mad. Or no, that was after that was after she was unalive. And but no, this is what I was looking for. Something like this. Her, he hates you. Us. And she laughing. I can upload way more. You know what I'm saying? So he's playing both sides, telling Quadajah, Holly, whatever her name is, all about Romeca, him being upset with her, and that, and they going back and forth at some points in their relationship. When Holly was there, and she knew, little things like that, that proves that it was some going back and forth. Pictures like that. That's dated 4/9. I don't know if that's when it happened or when she posted it, but that would have been this year in April. Forever that B that'll have that heart. His baddest B. He'll tell you who introduced him to the finer things. So they definitely knew of each other, and especially when you got stuff like this, maternity pictures, pregnancy photos together. Some of them, I didn't put the similar pictures here, but I did see some similar pictures like that Romeca and Holly had. Let me see. Well, here's some of Romeca's pregnancy photos, right? On this one, she wrote, "Never forced. We have a very great love, Bookie. And this what maternity pics look like when it's not forced." Okay, so, it was a picture of Quadajah and him, and she had on the same color blue that Romeca had on in some of her pictures, but I don't have those particular ones. And look at him, just loving it. Like, man, listen. Sad. Let me let this keep going. But yeah, this is sad. Oh, this is the one that is kind of similar. You see how Romeca is there with her hand on her head like that. And here's Holly on Thanksgiving. Her and the old boy and the baby dressed alike and all this stuff. And she's kind of rubbing it in. She says something like, we family, and we, of course, we gonna be dressed alike, and we gonna be cute, and y'all gonna, basically rip y'all eyes out because we gonna be cute when we post some other pictures, or however she said it. I don't have it in front of me, but just going on about everyday life, not giving a damn that you have ruined a child's life. If nobody else, like he didn't have no sympathy for his own son, in my opinion. I mean, damn, this baby just got dropped off at school by his mother, and I was looking at other years of him going to school, like from kindergarten all the way to, he was only in the first grade, but him going to school last year, to my son, there's nothing you can't count on me for. Even when my world is falling apart, I'll make sure yours is always perfect. Make first grade be great to you. I love you, and I'm always your biggest fan and supporter. Now, I did hear that this was possibly private on their page, that it got unprivated because that date is the 18th, and clearly she was already unalived on the 18th. So but this is you see her in the background with her scrubs on, her phone in her hand, look like keys in her hand. I'm not sure who's taking the picture then. And his lunch bag where this note would have been. And I was just sad and thinking about him and how the first day of school will always remember, and possibly just school period will always remind him of his mother, because that's the last time he seen her when he got dropped off. That's always gonna be in his brain. And for his dad to just be able to go on and living life and getting a woman pregnant that just killed his mother, like, what? I just cannot. How can you have that much hatred for somebody? Because that's what it was. You can't convince me that there's any love there, because there's no emotion there. I know people grieve differently, but I ain't see no grieving. And for that, I mean, that I got a problem with. You be with somebody that many years and you can just go on like that. Shout out to Tom. Welcome in, fam. What happened? Okay, let's get back to the details. Just sick.
Today for her to be released.
Yeah.
The judge made some pretty straight up statements. One being that when this shooting happened, at one point, the actual alleged shooter, Quadajah Johnson in this case, fist bumped the father that she and Romeca Blackmon have in common with their children, fist bumped him after the shooting.
Now, that is crazy as hell if that happened. Now, witnesses are saying that it did, and they standing 10 toes down on it. And I mean, so I also heard that a lot of this stuff was captured on, like, I forgot what they call it, but I think the police cameras footage, or captured some audio or something I've seen. And hopefully they got some footage from the bus and all that'll capture everything. But I would think if they had that they, and if dude was guilty of anything, they would have already arrested him. But just from what I'm hearing and from what the witnesses said, it definitely sounds like it was some premeditation going on, like I just showed where they were parked at, and for what? Because it ain't nothing on that street but the school. So if you from my understanding, I think she had some type of order against him, didn't she? I'm not sure. But they made it sound like she went towards them, but I don't know. Was she just going in that direction anyway? Spotted him and got out? I don't know how that happened. I really don't. Was she caught by anybody? I really don't know. But if they fist bumped each other, and if he told her, oh, she going to get her gun, like that was a threat. I mean, and why wasn't it stopped? Why didn't he tell her not to go get it? Like, I just don't get it. It seemed like it was a conversation before it happened. And him and Romeca wasn't on good terms either. I seen a picture of her with a black eye, swollen face, and all this. And something about her house being broken into. And a order of protection against him, I thought I heard. So, and then there was a video of him talking about beating your girl, hitting on your girl or whatever. Oh, I'm wrong if I do that. So you that type. You lay hands on women? because it ain't never a reason for it. I mean, real men just walk away and leave them in their misery. You got to be strong enough. But some of these men like a bunch of drama, and they keep it up. They like women fighting over 'em. That's what it seemed like to me. Old girl got rewarded with another baby. I mean, not that I think it's a reward, but I guess she thought it was. Like, what? How could you even lay down with her knowing the pain that your son is in? Like, what?
And the judge said, someone like that, basically, I'm essentially gonna, melt down his words into essentially what he said, does not deserve to be out roaming the streets. I think that's a very inflammatory thing to find out from witnesses that happened.
Yeah.
And witnesses, I do want to point out the fact that in this case, you got to give it up to the witnesses here to even get us to this
Who
point
spoke
in this
up?
case. Because even in the video that you saw, the aftermath of this shooting, these officers that responded, they responded to a chaotic scene. And many of them looked like this may have been the first day on the job. I mean, quite frankly, not really understanding who was the shooter, not really understanding who were the witnesses, people walking through the crime scene. We saw that in the video. And so the witnesses said, hey, that's the shooter. That's the person you need to be arresting. That's the person that you need to look out for. And another thing that came out in court in terms of what witnesses saw and heard, they said after that first shot was fired, there was a pause. Why is that important? Somebody may say, okay, why is that important? That's important because you fire one shot at someone, they're down, you pause, and then you ramp up again, and other shots are then fired.
Are they
Why?
saying that's the reason for the premeditated? Obviously, first degree murder would be premeditated.
Right.
Is that so? The second shot, they're saying premeditated because you thought about.
Now that is crazy. I mean, that is execution style, ain't it? At this point, you're down, and you're gonna stand over her and fire on her 2 more times. What? It don't matter what kind of bullets, but she had hollow points too, so she knew. She even talk about the timing of the weapon. I think I don't know if this is the one, but like when the timing of her getting the weapon and when all of these orders, trying to get these order of protections against her and all of this stuff. But what would be your point for firing on her again? That meant what? I mean, the point is that I want you dead. I don't just want to hurt you. I want to kill you. That's what that said. Like, it was no reason once she was down, your threat was eliminated if you ever thought you had a threat there. And it don't include, like, when you in fear for your life, it don't include all the stuff that we've been seeing on social media. Them going back and Holly going back and forth with her I would never video and all that. That, I mean, come on now. You don't taunt people that you're afraid of. And how can somebody threaten you through somebody else? The threat wasn't even said to her. It was allegedly said to somebody else. So that don't even make sense. But yeah, she hit that girl 3 times with a 9mm.
To shoot again.
Well, in this case, that was not made officially clear in the courtroom, but that was brought up as, witnesses stepping up and how this case has really unfolded. And because of that, the judge did not feel like Quadajah Johnson, no matter pregnant or not, does not deserve to be out here walking the streets.
And that was one of the big issues. I mean, obviously the biggest issue is that a life was lost. So let's say that, but that was one of the big issues going back to the day that this happened. Even though the police came and there was an arrest, she was released.
She was released.
Someone had lost their life and she was released.
And that is how we got involved in the story. So the shooting happened September 8th. She's released. I get a call from a friend of the family member that happens to know my family, being in Chicago. And they're like, hey, have you heard about this story? Is this something that you would cover? And I'm like, yes, I've heard about the story. We've all been wondering what's happening in the course of this investigation. And so that is how the connection even happened. So September 8th, the shooting and killing happens. September 23rd, I do the story. And from there after, I'll give it to the people. They really made sure I would get emails constantly because, like you said, it is a case that so many people have questions about. I would get emails constantly saying, is there an update? Is there an update? So every time I got a message, I sent that to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, and they would always respond and they would say, no, this is a, ongoing investigation. We're still investigating. And one of the issues that came up in this is that Quadajah Johnson had filed, and I believe the date is June. She filed in June an actual order of protection against Romeca Blackmon, saying that she was indeed the aggressor coming after her, is what she was alleging. We actually found some paperwork. Now, mind you, there could be several different orders of protections, but in this particular case, one of the orders of protection that we definitely can confirm existed was never delivered to Romeca Blackmon. In fact, every time the sheriff's, I believe it was the Sheriff's Department of Cook County, and I'll go back and review this, but a sheriff's department, just to be safe, tried to deliver this. They could never make contact. And in fact, they tried to deliver it after she was passed on.
Okay, so
that's crazy.
The day.
That's crazy. They even tried to pass it when she was already gone. Now, so technically she didn't have an order of protection, but she definitely had that weapon. Now, she just said something about June. I think that's when she got the weapon too. But let's listen.
The day that the shooting took place, Romeca was going to drop off her son. Is that correct?
She had already dropped off her son
and was coming out of there. And how did they? What caused them to interact?
So here's what's interesting about this, and there's so many different narratives about how this played out. So the father that both of these women share, his home is blocks going south from where, I believe it's south from where the school is located, and I've heard different narratives. If you look at the video, you see Romeca Blackmon's car, and I think I'm correct on this, kind of going back to our original story, in the street. You see Quadajah Johnson's car kind of like behind, I think it was parked on the street or behind her. And so the idea was this a situation where she saw her and hopped out of the car? Was it the reverse? Was she then blocked in? That's the question. That's some of the stuff we don't officially know, because that's all been hearsay. We have, and mind you, I did have witnesses' phone numbers, but I could never get them on the phone to actually say what they saw. So that was all hearsay of why the car was this way. Was it that Romeca jumped out? Was it that Quadajah blocked her in? And whatever happened, there was an altercation.
Right.
And in court today, that did come out that in fact the father had Blackmon in a chokehold during the course of this dispute that's unfolding.
And how did he get to the location at the time of the dispute?
He lives a couple of streets down.
And he came out.
So that is unknown. Was he riding in the car with Quadajah Johnson? Was he walking down the street? Keep in mind, it's cold now, but it was not cold at the time. Were they waiting for her? I mean,
now I thought I heard that he had dropped her. He had drove her to her car. And yeah, that's my thing though. Why was her car on the same street that they knew Romeca would be on that morning at the same time? Like, I don't believe in coinky dinks at all. Like, I feel like that was planned. Like, he could have picked any street. Why there? Why? I mean, she knew what she was doing. It seems that way. I mean, and I know that this was heart-wrenching for the family to have to sit back and watch them. This girl created a whole YouTube channel behind this. I'm gonna pull that up if I don't forget. But yeah, she created a whole YouTube channel behind this, talking about thank you to her supporters and all this. Dude then went live and talking to people, hanging up on people, and just not a tear, not a lick of emotion nowhere. And I heard him say something like he thought it would be different. He thought that after this happened, the family would come and sit down and talk to him and try to figure out what happened. But it was F him from day one. What else you thought it was gonna be? Like when it's two women and he's a personal trainer, two women barely 100 pounds soaking wet. They probably, I don't know, probably 120 if that. They both are small frame, petite women. And he's a personal trainer, bench pressing 300, 500, and he couldn't stop that. He couldn't keep them from connecting. I think he got a kick out of women fighting over. Come on. You know, this is just my opinion. I don't know the dude, but he don't care. BFF, I feel it was planned too. It had to be. Seemed like it. Look at him. And he just act like it's just another day. You know, he defending the woman that just killed his son's mother. And then he posting stuff on his page like he was there for both of them and he loved them both and all this stuff. Like, boy, get out of here.
There's a lot of different questions about that we don't officially have those answers to.
But somehow he hopped in the middle.
Somehow he got into the middle of it, puts Romeca Blackmon, who is a very small framed woman, in a chokehold, ends up the other mother of his child ends up shooting her.
Now that's crazy. Like, there's not a reason why he should have put her in no type of chokehold, like at all. But he's saying it didn't happen. It sounds like he working with the popo against old Holly. That's what it sounds like to me. I remember reading when she asked, because she talked to him, Tia Ewing, and we gonna go to that, and she asked him what happened or what did he think or something. His response was off. I was just, I don't know, when it happened, I was just looking. Yeah, you was just looking. You sure was. You ain't do nothing to stop it. You ain't dropping not one damn tear for your son, nothing.
And they fist bump. My question now is, and this is the email that I sent after learning these details to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, is he going to be charged?
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Is he an accessory? Is is he an accomplice in all of this? Because just based on the details you hear in court, it would make you ask the question, well, where's this guy at?
Right.
Is he going to, is there now you have to look at the totality of the case. Is there now an agreement that he's now going to be the key witness to testify against Quadajah Johnson? That's all, up in the air, but definitely worth a lot of questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how he ended up there at that time. If he had her in a chokehold, was he holding her for something that happened to her? Or will his excuse be, I was trying to break them up and it just looked like that?
Right.
Or, you
don't know how that'll play out.
You don't.
I do want to go back to something, because this idea of this order of protection has come up and, during the course of reporting here at Fox 32 and around the country. The questions of an order of protection come up and people are like, that's just literally a sheet of paper. And in this case, when I spoke to the family of Romeca Blackmon, they were under the impression that order of protection that was filed by Quadajah Johnson was essentially a play, like preparing for what could come next, preparing for the fact that she had threatened her before and kind of creating this paper trail to make her look like she would be, redeemed in a case of if she did pull the trigger, because she is a concealed carry holder. She has a license to carry a weapon. So that's the family's position on this. I think it's going to be really interesting. The next hearing is December 23rd, I believe is this date. It's going to be really interesting to hear as more details come out.
And is she arguing self-defense?
I don't remember what her argument was officially, but it had been self-defense. So today, I don't know if she entered an official, this is, I'm innocent. I didn't hear that, but she has argued up until this point, because though I never interviewed her, I never interviewed her. I want to make that very clear. I did hear from a relative of Quadajah Johnson, and I gave that relative, I said, listen, this is a platform that believes in fair and being balanced, right? So if Quadajah Johnson feels like, because her name had been run through the mud on social media prior to us ever getting to this point. And she felt like that was wrong. She felt like, you know, why is my name being brought into this and I haven't been charged, et cetera. And I told the family member, well, listen, we never mentioned her name. That's social media sleuths. And they have the right to go on social media.
And we have nothing to do with that.
And we had nothing to do with that. And I said, you know, we leave this platform open for her to speak. I know at one point she had hired a lawyer and that the lawyer had told her, do not say anything. Let this play out. And so during that communication with the family member, it was very clear to me that she felt like this was self-defense and that she also felt like she was getting a bad rep, you know, in the social media streets, and that she felt like she was the person that had been threatened by Romeca Blackmon.
So her story could...
It sounds like it's gonna be she was fighting me.
Yeah, that she hopped out, you know, that I was going on about my way. She hops out, comes at me. I am a concealed carry holder and I had the right to, you know, protect my life.
But here's the question. And this is, you know, the debate that has existed since this has happened. I'm a concealed carry holder. If someone starts hitting me and we're about the same size, you know, because they're about the same size. They're both pretty petite individuals. At what point is it okay and lawfully, speaking about the law, not what we fabricate in our minds, not what we think, at what point legally is it okay for me to then go grab my gun and shoot you off of a fight?
Yeah. And I guess if you're, and maybe we don't have the exact point at which she retrieved the gun. Was the gun on her when the fight was happening, or did she leave and come back?
That's a good question. And at one point, we do know in the video that the witnesses said, hey, she just put the gun in the car. She just took the gun back to the car, which makes me think, well, I don't know if that meant, you know, she had it on her person. If you're a concealed carry holder, you could, you know, you may have it, you know, stored in your car. You may have it, you know, on your person hidden. So we don't know that part of the story. Again, more details will come from this. But at what point, if the father's out there, and if this is true, you know, the judge said
the fist bump
and the chokehold, that the dad that they share together had her in a chokehold. What do you need to pull your gun out for?
Yeah, if there's someone who is actively helping you. So today, obviously these, and you mentioned a couple of things. I want to talk about the fact that there were a lot of supporters for both of these women who have shown up in all of this.
Overwhelmingly, looking at the crowd, Romeca's favorite color apparently was pink, because you saw just about everyone wearing pink. They had to move the courtroom because of the overwhelming response. Not only has the response been overwhelming online, but in reality here in the city of Chicago, this has impacted a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. But I think overwhelmingly Romeca had support, but there was supporters there for Quadajah Johnson. It is a horrible situation.
All around.
If anything we could learn from this is, if the man got you going through this kind of stuff, it's time to let him go. I mean, honestly, if he got you fighting this mother and you both have a child, don't you want your siblings to be brother and sister or brothers or whatever the dynamics are versus this? That child did not deserve to come out of that school just feet away from his mother, being shot in the face, to never see his mother again. That child didn't deserve that. And now Quadajah Johnson has a child in the world with no mother.
Exactly.
And may not have a father. Right. And then a baby in the womb. What happens to that baby? I mean, the whole story, I think, is what has drawn so many people to it, because it just shows like what we learn when you're growing up. You've heard a parent or somebody in your life say, leave that man alone. And it's unfortunate that it's ended with two lives, very young, beautiful women, both of them, lives being completely destroyed because one made what sounds like, listen, allegedly, right? A really stupid, emotional decision. And that's why they tell you often, you know, I have kids and I tell my kids, I say, every decision you make counts. Every last one of them. And never get caught up in your emotions when you make decisions, because you're high on emotions. I'm gonna get you when I see you, kind of stupid stuff. And now look.
And you know, there's so much to come from this. And again, at the end of the day, there are children involved.
That's the horrible part.
You know, that's the next generation, and there are ripple effects to all of this. So we watched just a piece of when the hearing today ended, and Romeca's family, her mother, and many of the other family members came out of the courtroom. They were smiling.
They were happy.
They
I
were
talked to them
happy
yesterday.
about what happened today
They didn't
and where
believe me
this
when
is
I
at this
called.
point.
So I called them because I felt like if it were me, and I got a call that a family member of mine died, and I never knew what was happening, because it's one thing, I think, when the media calls to get answers, it seems like things move a little faster, versus when an everyday person is calling for the answers, it seems like you're waiting.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I got that call, I had one of the family members call the mom, and she initially didn't believe it. She was like, is this real? Because this has been almost 3 months.
They've been waiting for it.
They've been waiting for a while. And so she cried, she processed that, and then she said, when is the court, when is the court date? And so, we'll see how this plays out. I think this is just I think what should happen from this is that if you have a daughter, a young teenage daughter,
what? Honestly, a daughter or a son,
or a son, I was going to get into that too. Young, old, maybe like not quite 30. This is a good time to show them this story, because believe it or not, it's a lot of people resonate with this story because they've been in it. Right. Or they've seen somebody be foolish in love and things happen and it goes left. And I think that this is a good reminder of, I can't say what I really want to say, but don't let a loser bring you down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is really what it sounds like.
Yeah. We'll continue to follow it.
Allegedly.
I know you.
You gotta use that word. Don't come to
clear. Yeah. I know that you will continue to follow it. It is honestly very sad on many levels, but we appreciate you staying on top of it. I know.
And then he works as a personal trainer too. Them jobs where you get all the women and just continue to be a womanizer, not a real job. You can't get nothing off of that. That's just something he doing on the side. That's something you do with a job. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's one of them joke jobs that he just in it for the meeting the women and to continue doing and being the person that he is just quite disgusting. That's how I feel about the whole situation. I don't know him, but I'm just looking at him and how he talking and looking and don't give a damn. Like, let's go here.
For the first time, we are hearing from the father at the center of a fatal confrontation.
Carlos Smith shared children with 2 women, and now one of them is charged with murdering the other.
Tia Ewing has been following the story from the very beginning, and she has the latest.
A lot of details came out in court today for the hearing of Quadajah Johnson, including the fact that this was the first time when the shooting unfolded that she allegedly laid eyes on Romeca Blackmon. We know that she and Romeca Blackmon, they both have children by the same man. And for the very first time, we are hearing from Carlos Smith. He was the man on the scene when this tragic shooting unfolded. So a lot of information came out in court today. Witnesses saying what they saw, but you were there. What's your reaction to what you heard came out in court today?
When I heard it, I'm just looking, it was unbelievable, but I was there. And I know for a fact, none of that happened, how they just explained it. But my truth will get out here, and I hope everybody understand.
Okay, so he was talking about court when he said that. He was just looking and it didn't happen like that. Now, he didn't come out and speak until Holly got arrested. So, from my understanding, he wasn't coming out trying to defend nothing. He was trying to keep a low profile. It was another guy that was speaking out for them, but making matters worse and messy. He got a name similar to Quadajah. I'm like, are they family? I don't know.
That's really it. I can't even say too much right now. Because it's just gonna feel like I'm going against them, they going against me. We just going back and forth. But the truth is going to come out.
Well, let's walk through this. So on September 8th, investigators say Johnson and the father of her child were near his home. They drove Johnson to 20 West Romeca, where her car was parked. They placed their 6-month-old into Johnson's car in the back seat. Around the same time, Blackmon had just dropped off her son at a nearby school and drove back to the area
where Johnson and the father were. Witnesses told police the women argued. They reported the father pushing Johnson away and Blackmon standing with her arms crossed. They say he then slammed a car door on Blackmon and also put her in a chokehold. Prosecutors say Johnson broke free, and that is when, or I should say Blackmon broke free, and that is when Blackmon was shot once, and then that's when they say Johnson paused, then fired 2 more times.
That's
where
crazy.
Johnson and the father were. Witnesses told police.
And that's the part.
Blackmon had just dropped off her son at a new.
Hold on, y'all.
Car was parked. They placed their 6-month-old into. September 8th, investigators say Johnson and the father of her child were near his home. They drove Johnson to 20 West Cermak, where her car was parked.
So they were near his home, but drove her. Why was her car parked at the school? Because that's basically what it was. It's on the same exact street. Why? Why wasn't her car parked at his house? I mean, they need to be able to explain that to the court, because if not, this sounds like it was a plan. Okay, I'm gonna park you over here so we have a reason to be over here, and then we go. I don't know, like, what was that? And she just happened to see them. It just don't make no sense to me. That part. Drove her back to her car from his house. What?
They placed their 6-month-old into Johnson's car in the back seat. Around the same time, Blackmon had just dropped off her son at a nearby school and drove back to the area where Johnson and the father were. Witnesses told police the women argued. They reported the father pushing Johnson away and Blackmon standing with her arms crossed. They say he then slammed a car door on Blackmon and also put her in a chokehold. Prosecutors say Johnson broke free, and that is when, or I should say Blackmon broke free, and that is when Blackmon was shot once, and then that's when they say Johnson paused, then fired 2 more times.
Instead of, okay, so he's all in between them and all of that, and why did she come back? Like, if she was in fear for her life, she could have, when she ran free, and she was able to get to her car, she should have left, not retrieve a weapon and then kill the threat that you just ran away from. She could have got away if she was trying to, but she wasn't. So, it just amazes me. But if you say the right words and you got, you are legal to carry, and you say you were standing your ground and you feared for your life and it was self-defense, then yeah, they got to investigate that. And that's the only reason why she stayed out that long. But to me, it didn't seem like the investigation needed to go 3 months, but I guess it did. But they said they got audio of this incident on the cameras that were there, police cameras. They right in front of dang near in front of a school. And I'm trying to figure out, why was they on that street? Like, I cannot wait until the truth comes out. But, yeah. Do that make sense to y'all? Let me look at something right quick. Okay, so this says, this is the official document. First degree murder, victim 1, 31 years old. It happened September 8th at 9:04 a.m. at 20 West Cermak. Witness 1 has a 6-month-old child in common with the defendant, as well as a 6-year-old child in common with the victim. Now, that's one thing that stuck out, a 6-month-old and a 6-year-old. That is so crazy, but it's number 6. He the other 6 to make the damn devil. Not saying the kids, but I'm just saying, because this dude is the reason all of this stuff happened. Going back and forth between 2 women, playing both of them, and he probably got another woman that don't nobody, or somebody else that don't nobody else even know about, that just haven't even spoke up yet. In December of 2024, the victim sought a stalking no contact order against the victim. So December 2024, I guess that was the first time that she was trying to get that. And what prompted her calling a grandmother threatening her? That don't even make sense if that's what happened. But okay, in December of 2024, the defendant sought a stalking no contact order against the victim, alleging that the victim had verbal threats to the defendant through the D's family member. The D's family member. Defendant, okay. The defendant did not allege that the victim committed any act of violence against her. So why did they order? Why did she get it then? The order of protection was granted in July of 2025, but was never served on the victim. As of the date of this incident, the defendant and the victim had never met in person. So she sought a order of protection in December, and it took to July for the order of protection was granted in July. That don't what the that's a lot of time between. Geez, that's 8 months or something like that. December of 2024, didn't get it until July of 2025. But I heard somewhere that she got her gun in June. Is that what I heard? But anyway, okay. And they never met in person. She doing all of this stuff behind the scenes. Getting ready. Now, one thing for sure, too, for certain, she gonna roll over on him. Also, if she haven't already, if they had any conversation about this stuff happening prior to it actually happening. How you scared of somebody you ain't never seen or talked to? Allegedly, she called somebody grandmother or something. Like, how? I'm just trying to figure out how can you even get one for that reason? At approximately the same time, the victim drove her white Kia sedan located at 55 West Cermak. The victim was dressed in a light pink outfit. Hold on, y'all. So on September 8th, 2025, just before 8:30 a.m., witness 1 drove his black Mercedes SUV from his home located on South State Street. Okay, so he lived right around that corner. I mean, let me put that back up. If he lived on State Street, why didn't she park her car on State Street? So this is like 2200 West Cermak. You turn around, this is State Street right here. Why didn't he park her car on that street if that's where he live at? And the school is on right down the street. So for all I know, Romeca could have been coming back this way to go home. I mean, was that the direction that she had to go? I don't know, but how convenient to be right there. I would have parked her anywhere but on that street, knowing that Romeca was going to be over there at the same time. What houses is over here close to right there that he would have needed to park her right there? Make it make sense. I see a bunch of restaurants and all this going on here. Where did he live at? What the? Let's see. State Street. Did he live at the pain clinic? I mean, where did dude live at? He wouldn't have lived way down here, would he? And park over there. Oh, here's some apartments here. Look at all them parking spots over here. Why would you park over here? Why? I mean, he could live in the other direction. I don't know, but it don't make sense, okay? It don't. It don't make sense if you live on this street or that direction and you park on this street where you know your baby mama gonna be at. Anyway. So, it says that he drove his black Mercedes SUV from his home located on South State Street to the location of 20 West Cermak. The defendant was seated in the front passenger seat, and a 6-month-old child was in the rear in a removable car seat of the Mercedes. The victim was dressed in a black jacket with green leggings. The defendant was dressed with on a black jacket and green leggings. Witness 1 double parked his Mercedes on Cermak 2 car lengths in front of the defendant's car. Defendant's Chevy Cruiser. Let me see. That was a setup. I promise you, come on, man. Listen, most people don't want to run into their baby mama, especially if you say she toxic or y'all had a toxic relationship. Last thing you want to do is running into her, especially with your girlfriend having a order of protection or even one possibly against him, is what I thought I heard also. But I mean, your girlfriend is scared. She got an order of protection. She's in fear of her life, and you put her in danger by having her park on the same street that you knew she would be on. I mean, can somebody please make that make sense? It just don't. And he could have parked anywhere else on State Street where he lived. As a matter of fact, why couldn't she park on his street? I'm trying to figure out, why is she parking around the corner? Like, I thought this was her man. Like, what? Why is she parked around the corner like she was, hiding from his real woman or something? Oh, you can't park over here. She gonna get off work. I don't want her to, I don't want nobody to see you parked over here or something like that. Like, who are we hiding from? Anyway, how did that happen? So anyway, the defendant was seated in the front passenger seat, and a 6-month-old child was in the rear in a removable car seat of the Mercedes. The defendant was dressed in a black jacket with green leggings. The witness double parked his Mercedes on Cermak 2 car lengths in front of the defendant's black Chevy. So he was parked even closer to the school than she was, and Romeca would notice his car first, Anyway, the defendant and the witness 1 then removed their child from the Mercedes and walked towards the defendant's Chevy. So he parked 2 cars in front of her car, and they had to walk the baby to the car. So that would mean they would be lingering outside of the car longer than they needed to. And Romeca could possibly see them both walking down the street holding a car seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, right when anyway, that just don't. It just sounds like you want it to be seen. And all right, so they loading the baby into the vehicle, the defendant's vehicle. That is wild. It was like, look at us. We want you to see us right now over here. We want to make you mad. So at approximately the same time, the victim drove her white Kia sedan to a school located at 55 West Cermak. The victim was dressed in a light pink outfit. She dropped her 5-year-old off. Wait a minute. Kia and behind stood outside her car. Dang, I can't see what's. Oh, wait. Hold on. Get this off my screen. Okay. Okay, so it says at approximately the same time, the victim drove her white Kia sedan to a school located at 55 West Cermak. The victim was dressed in a light pink outfit. She dropped her 6-year-old son off at the school and then drove to where the defendant's Chevy and witness 1 Mercedes were parked on Cermak, and then drove to where they were. Okay. The victim double parked her Kia on Cermak behind witness 1 Mercedes and got out. See, he was parked 2 cars in front of old girl, so it looked like that was a spot she could pull right up to, right? So the victim double parked her Kia on Cermak behind witness 1 and got out, while the defendant stood outside of her car. See, the defendant could have got in her car and left then. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have left then if she was afraid. Right? Hold on. Yep, so she stood outside her car. At approximately the same time, the victim drove her white Kia to the school. Okay, hold on. Outside of her car. Hold on. At this time, witness 2, who does not know any of the parties, drove past the victim, defendant, and the witness 1. Observing the defendant and the victim standing in the street arguing, but unable to hear exactly what was being said. He observed witness 1 standing in between the defendant and the victim with his arms extended, and then observed the defendant advance towards the victim. Okay, so that's what witness 2 said. He observed witness 1 standing in between the defendant, Holly, and Romeca with his arms extended, and then observed Holly advance towards Romeca. So as what's his name again? I'll just call him witness 1. As witness 1 held Holly back, witness 2 observed witness 1 push Romeca away from push Holly away from Romeca, while Romeca was unarmed, stood stationary with her arms crossed across her chest. So she was just standing there, arms crossed. He pretty much telling Holly to back off, I guess. Pushed the defendant away from the victim while the victim stood there. Okay. So Holly at that point don't sound like she is afraid. Like she sound like she trying to get at Romeca. And Romeca ain't worried about her. She just standing there. She just standing there like trusting. The sound like she trusted that Carlos was gonna take care of it. Oh, that's his name, Carlos. Look, it just popped in my head. Anyway, minutes later, witness 3 was on an eastbound bus that drove past Holly and Romeca as they argued. She observed and bus video captured Romeca and Carlos standing in the open driver's door of Romeca's Kia. At the same time, witness 4 was walking east on Cermak, approaching State Street. Boy, so many people seen what happened. Let me tell you, so many people. So witness 3 got off the bus, walked across Cermak, and stood under the CTA green line stop near witness 4. Witness 3 and 4, who also don't know any of the parties involved, observe witness 1, which is Carlos, standing in between Holly and Romeca. They observed Romeca walk towards the driver's door of the Kia, standing in the threshold of the driver's door, with Carlos standing immediately outside of the driver's door. So Holly was standing on the sidewalk arguing with Romeca. Witness 3 observed Carlos strike Romeca by repeatedly swinging the driver's door of the Kia closed on her. So that's crazy. And he should feel like crap for that, because he was causing harm to her also. Closing a car door on her. So witness 3 called 911 and reported that Carlos had struck Romeca multiple times with the car door. Okay, so that should be on a 911 call. Hold on, y'all. So after her 911 call, Romeca entered her car. Witness 3 and witness 4 then observed Holly approach the victim's car and heard Holly making threats towards her. So Holly is the reason why she got back out of her car. So Holly, after he done cleared everything, she back in her car and was about to leave possibly. Now here come Holly over to her, threatening her. So witness 3 walked closer to the incident at this time. She then observed Romeca exit the Kia. When she did, observed Carlos approach Romeca from behind and placed her in a chokehold with his right arm while striking her with his left. So he was fighting her too. Like, I mean, she got jumped, basically. So witness 4 observed Romeca unarmed, with her arms in the air, trying to break free from Carlos' grasp. Witness 3 heard Holly make threats to shoot Romeca and heard Carlos tell Romeca that Holly had a gun. The defendant then went to her vehicle and was observed by witness 3 retrieving a handgun and then stand on the sidewalk. The victim was able to break free from Carlos' hold and took steps away from Holly, as observed by witness 3. Witness 3 then observed Holly point her gun at Romeca, walk towards Romeca, and then fire multiple times at her, with a pause between the first shot and the subsequent shots. But man, this happened different than what I thought. As far as what the victim seen. So for him to be out there like that, these people literally seen it happen. And they are, they in an uproar. And he got the nerve to be telling people to shut up, telling her to come on and trying to do all that. He's standing over Romeca, doing nothing to stop her bleeding or anything like that. He just standing there, getting blood on everything and everybody. But what are you doing to help her? Nothing. How dare you tell these people to shut up? He should have been shocked. He should have been broke down. You would think, like, you just seen your child's mother get taken out, and he just acting like it's just another day. Telling people to shut up, what? And move and all that. Who are you? That's crazy. These people literally seen that happen. That's sick. So witness 4 had just turned to walk away when he heard one gunshot, a pause, and 2 more gunshots. He looked towards the direction of it and observed a defendant holding a black handgun in her right hand. Like, what? So for her to, no wonder that lady said what she said, talking about she got a license to carry. Like, you just shot somebody. What are you talking about? A license to carry? Like, what? Hold on. So witness 2, 3, and 4 were all still on the scene when officers arrived. Witness 2 identified Holly on the scene as one of the women he saw arguing minutes earlier. Witness 3 positively identified the defendant, Holly, on the scene as the shooter. The defendant was detained and admitted to shooting the victim. From her Chevy, officers recovered 1 loaded 9mm handgun. Evidence technicians provided the scene, recovering 3 9mm shell casings. Ballistic analysis revealed that all 3 of those spent shell casings were fired from the defendant's 9mm weapon recovered from the Chevy. Holly refused medical attention and was taken to the police station, where she claimed self-defense and acknowledged that this was her first time she had ever seen the victim in person. Holly, she did have a valid FOID card and CCL at the time. That's crazy. So she got first-degree murder. A person who unalives an individual without lawful justification commits first-degree murder if, in performing the acts which caused the death, 1, he or she either intends to kill, or go great or do great bodily harm to that individual or another, or knows that such act will cause the death of that individual or another, which yeah, she wanted to make sure by putting two more in there, firing two more. Okay. Or two, he or she knows that such act creates a strong possibility of death or great bodily harm that individual or another. Or three, he or she acting alone or more with one or more participants, commits or attempts to commit a forcible felony other than second degree, and in the course of or furtherance of such crime or flight therefrom, he or she or another participant caused the death of a person. She definitely did that. She definitely wanted to make sure that she was gone because, that's what she did. She kept firing them because she wanted her out of here. That's what she did. Let me go through some of this stuff. Okay, I already went through these actually. That is Holly. This is Romeca, full of life and fun loving, all that. That was who she was with for all of those years. And I mean, Holly was the newcomer. You know what I'm saying? Like, she came through with a big bang, like trying to claim her spot position. But this dude, he probably was with another woman that same night. Because from what I heard, he is not claiming the pregnancy. I heard I think it was Keys, and shout out to Keys and Cold Piece. I've been watching Cold Piece more than anybody with this case, so check her out. But I heard Keys saying something like that he said that he ain't had sex with her since the day of the shooting. So okay, so he extra did, she was extra crazy, had just got done being dicked down, right? And then she come acting a fool when she seen Romeca. So yeah, he helped play a part in that too, and then got her pregnant as a reward, is what it sounds like to me. Like, but now he's denying that it is his baby, is what I heard. I didn't hear him say it myself, but I heard that's what he said. So I mean, if it come on, man, he know good and well he done been with her after the fact. They was together at Thanksgiving dressed alike. Okay, so get out of here. And when I seen some of her stuff on her page, I just instantly felt sad for Romeca. Like, man, I mean, because she probably done been through so much with this dude. She kept dealing with him, kept taking him back, believing his bull crap or whatever it was, wanting to make it work because she had a kid by him. But a baby, like, somebody make a baby on you, like, come on. That's doing too much, especially if you already going through all kind of stuff and he putting his hands on you and breaking in your stuff and stealing your things or tearing up your things or whatever happened at her house. Like, and I heard him say out of his mouth that he went to her job telling on her because she would leave her job coming to his house tearing up his stuff. So he goes to her job trying to get her fired instead of calling the police. Like, shouldn't you have called the police that time? Like, make that make sense. He don't sound like a manly man to me. I'm just saying, that's some old girl stuff. Going to somebody's job, telling on them. Don't you want your son's mother? She was going to school to be a nurse. Uh-oh, this thing is circling. What is going on? Hold on. Get off of my screen. I don't know. I know breakups can be nasty, but that don't sound like something that men be doing, going to folks' job, trying to get them fired. Sound like he could have been sorry that she had moved on, because I heard that she had a boyfriend. Let's see. Oh, shoot.
Police recovered 3 9mm casings there at that scene. Johnson legally owned the gun and claimed self-defense. Prosecutors say Blackmon was unarmed. Her son turned 7 days after the shooting and is still asking to this very day, where is his mother?
Hold on, y'all. She asked for leniency because she was pregnant, and he said that he hasn't seen his son since the incident took place. So one of the things I noticed, this is his page, so I'm just looking. This was prior to her being unalived. It's been 13 weeks and 5 days, so this was 44 weeks ago. He only had about 7 posts on his page prior to Romeca being unalived. All of this stuff was already there, including this. Let me see, 13 weeks. Nah, so none of this was all from here on is what he posted after she was gone. All of this stuff. He wasn't posting none of this stuff before. None of it. He sure started posting a lot after she died, y'all, is what I'm saying. All this. He only had 7 videos. What the heck? He sure did get busy and popular, didn't he? Was he trying to make a little money? What was it? What I mean, because I don't see what is this? I ain't gonna click on this kid. Y'all think he was trying to make a little money off of the situation? I heard him say something like he should have been using YouTube or using social media too. I'm trying to see what can I click on. I'm sure I don't be wanting to show kids. What is this mess? I don't really want to play no meat.
Let the pussy get you tricked, yeah. That's some niggas that's loyal.
Yeah.
Let the pussy get you tricked, yeah.
Get off my dang on phone. I mean thing. But anyway, he posted all this since she been gone. He wasn't posting nothing like that before. All of a sudden, that's what he doing. Let's see. Keys is the one that put this together, saying that he looked like this guy. Let me see. I have seen a couple of keep your head up. Earned a badge recognizing me for having meaningful conversations with fans. What? Relatable content. Finally, you're next, buddy. Look, he's sitting up here posting accomplishments. What are we doing here? I smile to hide the pain. You ain't in no damn pain at all. Is that what he call a smile? He ain't in no pain, because if he was, we would have seen that pain that day. Now, I do agree with him. People do love drama more than the truth. I see that on YouTube. They'll run to some drama-filled content and lies before they'll come to the truth. That's a fact. If the truth was told, there would be no drama. Remember that. People love drunk. Yeah, they own them. And what is this? Fly them birds. Like, what funeral was he at? I know this is did he go to Romeca funeral? Did he go to her funeral? Cause who funeral was this? And looking like he going to a club or something, smiling and all this. Like, I don't know. Enjoy your zesty freedom now, because you'll be arrested by Friday. Your baby mama can't hold water. She's talking right now. BFF, I guess they agree with you. They said zesty. Oh my God. What? Whoever eat chitlins, you nasty. What is, I mean, your baby mama is dead because of you. Like some female you was dealing with. And it's just business as usual. Matter of fact, wasn't this his son's birthday, November 28th? I think it was. If they were, anyway. What is this mess? Just, life goes on, y'all. Life goes on in his world. Like, he don't feel bad at all. You'll have plenty of time to work out in prison. That's all he want. Yeah. Wasn't doing none of this before. Prep for the night, for pickups tomorrow. Like, just nothing to see here. Y'all talking about Team Meeks or Team Holly. I wasn't on none of their side because I was there for both of them. That don't even make sense. Then you was on both of their side then. I mean, make that make sense. Y'all talking about Team Meeks or Team Holly. I wasn't on none of their sides because I was there for both of them. I took care of them both. I mean, I heard Meeks say that she introduced him to the finer things of life. So I don't know how much he was taking care of nobody. But when it comes down to it, you was yelling self-defense for Holly. Man, damn. Exactly. He absolutely was. I heard him. It was self-defense. He was agreeing with all of that. Like, what? You're on Team Clown. We know what type of man you just stand there and let this happen. You was there until one didn't want you. So you had the other one take her out, the one you really wanted. That's crazy, man. Listen, I pray all this stuff is proven and on tape. This is a terrible situation I have to face. And God knows who was right and wrong in that situation. I know y'all want me to be the bad guy so bad, but that's just not me. You are a bad guy messing around with two women. That being messy as hell. Oh, you got freaking maternity pictures on here. Like, I mean, if you get a third baby mama, y'all gonna have maternity pictures too. This is just too much. This is why you don't, man, listen, this dude got everybody looking crazy. For real. He posing in all these damn maternity pictures talking about this a terrible situation I have to face. No, it's a horrible effed up situation your son has to face every day, not having his mother at a tender age of freaking 7 years old. Man, get out of here. All he can think about is himself. This is a terrible situation I have to face, and God knows who was right and wrong in that situation. So who he thinking at that moment? Why he talking about God knows who was right and wrong in that situation? Who? Because he got somebody at his brain right now who he think was right. If he was hollering self-defense, so we know who he thought was right. I know y'all want me to be the bad guy so bad, but that's just not me. But please stop trying to harass me on this app, people. I loved and was there for both of my baby mamas and a very active father. No, you was screwing both of them. You wasn't no active father. I mean, I don't think he was actively messing with Romeca, which is what the freaking problem was. He lost one. Ye thought what is he, Muslim? He think he's supposed to have a bunch of wives or what? What is it? Like, because a real player can have multiples and they know about each other. So it's the lies that be getting these folks caught up. And this is what I'm talking about right here. This damn person shit. Like, stop. Man, listen here. He too much for the damn camera for me. This is what girls do. I mean, I mean, let me know, let me know if this is what girls do or not. Because, and who holding a damn camera? Do he got it on a selfie stick somewhere? Like one of those rotators or what? Like, where is he going with this purse? Get the hell. I don't believe in a man bag either. Ain't no damn man bags. That's a damn purse. Period. What? Here's another purse with a different color. Like, this ain't even the same purse. Oh, yes, it is. It just hitting the sun. But anyway, what is he advertising for? Louis Vuitton? What are we doing here? Looking like a clown. This what I'm talking about. Men that be in the mirror too much, be cuter than they girls think they are, wanna be. Anyway, maybe he was jealous of her. Anyway, this is just upsetting. I can't do lame people, period. He was too cute. He wanted to be too pretty. And I think he can't be satisfied. But anyway, that's just my opinion. They ain't arrested him or not. I'm just really disgusted by it because I see a lot of selfishness. He's not thinking about his son at all in this. He's just thinking about himself and what he got to go through. Boy, don't nobody give a damn. Nobody cares. We see what side you on. It's so obvious. But it's sad because Romeca can't come back. And I pray for her family, her mother, and all that. She said she was the baby, but she was the leader. He is a witness for the state, so he will be questioned for both sides. Hey, JT, thank you. Yeah, self-defense against what? Romeca didn't have no power, pal. Exactly. Like, she had nothing in her hand. What were you self-defense against what? And then he's in between them both. So why didn't you, when you went to your car to get your weapon, why didn't you just get in your car and leave? Because you wasn't afraid. They've been setting this up. They've been waiting. And I'm telling you, like, it ain't no reason for them to have parked on that street like that. There's no reason for that. Except for the setup. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. This is my second live for the day. We trying to get back in the swing of things because I've been, I've been down, man down for a little bit. But watch for my shorts and stuff. Please make sure y'all subscribe to the channel because YouTube unsubscribes some folks. You know, that happens when you ain't consistent like that. So I noticed when I went live earlier, it went back up. But still, just double check. Make sure you still subscribe to the channel. Please smack that thumbs up, y'all. If you hear on the replay, I should have been said it. I didn't say it enough. But anyway, as far as these fools,
You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy.
it makes no damn sense what they did. And he need to be right with her, in my opinion.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You going to jail. You going to jail. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up.